What is going on, everyone? My name is Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology retold action in the top of the map, playing as Isis, the winner of the most recent S-tier tournament, and a very, very strong contender going into the Champions League that just popped up over here. He's playing Isis, and his name is Kavoth. His opponent today, in the red color, the runner-up in Mythic Wars. Another player contending for the title in Champions League. His name is the Rapple, and he's going to be playing some Odin for us. So a little bit of a rematch here, a little bit of a grudge match, so to speak. Rapple is on one of his favorite gods, Odin. However, Kavoth is on what I'm going to go ahead and say is one of the strongest gods in the game. Now, just because you've got one of the strongest gods in the game, that does not mean you auto win. This is something that I think that everybody needs to get really understand, right? Just because you've got a strong god does not mean you auto win. There's a lot of little things that go into victory, and oftentimes, I would even go in so far as to say 9 times out of 10, the better player is the victor. I'm excited to see how Kavoth's going to play this one, though. It's a pretty of an interesting map. That's a terrible zebra there, unfortunately, for Kavoth. It's an interesting map because we are on the map air. Super defensive. Now, Kavoth could go for some sort of fast 3 town center idea, get a really big boom in, and then just rush for whatever he wants to go for, right? Whether that be like full classical age off of 3 town centers, depending on what Rapple's doing, or you go for a fast heroic off the 3 town centers if Rapple is also going to be playing defensive and boomy, etc. He could also go for a classical fight and try and deny town centers from going up, but that can get shut down pretty hard by a wall and a tower. So you got to be somewhat careful there. And then, I mean, what else can you go for as the Isis? There are some 1 town center all-in ideas, like fast heroic ideas, which are pretty scary regardless of the map. Because, yeah, sure, put a wall up, no worries. I just get a siege tower out, knock it down. Walls don't do anything versus siege towers. They shouldn't do anything versus siege towers. And there is some like ability to defend against them by like running through the wall and hitting the siege tower, but still, that is another idea for Kavoth. But it's not really in his playbook. The more you watch Kavoth, the more you realize he is a player who likes to kind of ease his way into the game. He doesn't want to lose to anything early on. He tries to cover all those weaknesses. And then once he feels like he's covered, then he's going to start greeting stuff out. And then he's going to go for his his ultimate unbeatable plays, right? The plays that are going to be the most difficult to stop. Rapple, on the other hand, with Odin, he normally likes to raid. He normally likes to get in, get some stuff done while also doing all the other stuff like getting set up on the map, doing everything the correct way, and having a good game of it that way. But on a map like Air, that early game pressure, especially versus someone like Kavoth, who's really good at defense, you can already see, look at this, he's got 2 villagers building houses. And this is what I mean, like, you don't typically see this from most Egyptian players. This is obviously losing out on resources now, which Kavoth could be using. Like, sure, the houses are free, but the houses do take 15 seconds, 20 seconds to build, right? So you're losing out on 20 gold, roughly, to get these houses up when you don't need them just yet. So he's going to be more defensive than he needs to be, but he's going to be protected against everything, or at least setting up to be protected against everything. As he's going up through Anubis, we do see Heimdall, the god of choice here for Rapple. An interesting pick. I'd like the idea on the fact that you can go for this town center. There is a back gold mine over here. There is back rhinos. Cheeky little wall over onto this side. Like I said, wall over to here. And if Kavoth wants to go aggressive onto any sort of classical age units, well, you're just going to get watchtowers. You're just going to play defensive, and you can rotate from one side of the map to the other side of the map, or one side of the town center to the other side of the town center. And it's going to be really tough for the 1 town center Isis to actually lock that down. That being said, there is the options of that 1 town center fast heroic all in, which could be very strong. As the Anubites charging in, we are going to be seeing the town center coming up over here for Kavoth, so I'm not really surprised. It is a late advance. There are 2 monuments. There is going to be the Anubite threat coming through for Kavoth, which is going to be difficult to deal with, especially because the units here for Rappel are sort of out of position. However, not out of position, they're busy. They're getting the town center up, right? You should be leaving them on the wood normally if you're playing one town center ideas, on the food normally, such that the Anubites aren't going to be able to get all too much damage here. And you can see he's going to be charging in here. And this is dangerous. Running your Anubites onto a wood line is dangerous unless you turn off that jump, as they do dive in over onto that Ironry there. And the Ironry blows the horn. Going to be able to actually catch up, get a couple of smacks off. Love that little interaction there from Rappel. Really, really well played. But Rappel now knows what's coming for him. He knows he's seen the Anubites. I don't know if he's seen he has seen the town center, so he knows it's 2 TC, so he knows he doesn't have anything to worry about right now. So setting up defense and moving on from here. The only problem is, well, Kavoth, he's got nothing to really worry about right now. So he can go straight to the Heroic Age. He does drop Plague of Serpents down onto this bar. I don't think this is a problem at all. This is actually a really, really low impact serpents. Sure, you lock off the chickens, but like I don't think Rappel is going to have a care in the world about those. He's still got the hunt down the bottom. He can place his Herser down there and be good to go. You see the Anubite going after that Ironry there. Not exactly the fight you want to take, because even if you do win it, which the Ironry does, the Anubite will do exactly that. Hop away and be sort of good to go. He's going to be completely fine here. Moving up to the top side. Priest can heal this bad boy up and keep going. Barracks coming up for Kavoth here as well, as he's going to be building a couple of units. Now, generally, the reason Kavoth does this is, well, one, he's looking for units to protect himself from any sort of raids, but also he's looking to move in and lock these parts of the map off. So it does slow him down in terms of the tech, but giving him that map control and giving him that ability to move around the map, or prevent his opponent from moving around the map, is really, really strong. Whereas Rappel here, while he's still building units, he is, I would say, not really placing the military buildings down. He's got a lot of wood in the bank to do so, but he's looking for a nice quick Heroic Age, and he does manage to snipe a couple of Anubites here. And here's the other thing. When you're playing against the Anubites, one idea is to drop a double wall, such that if they want to jump over here, then they have to jump again. And you can leave the Herser in the middle, waiting for the Anubites to jump in, and then you can just come in and start getting some free hits on them. As we do see a cheeky little Great Hunt coming through. Is that the second one? A second Great Hunt, it looks like, for the Rappel. I like that move. I think Great Hunt is an incredibly underutilized gold power in terms of recasts. 20 favor, when in favor is technically free. I will say I don't like this type of wall, but when favor is technically free, yeah, it's good. The reason why this wall's not so good is because the Anubites can jump over both of these. A wall like this is really nice if you get both of them. You need a nice big gap there that your opponent's not going to be able to see, and he's going to jump over and get caught out. That's what you want. Anyways. Kavoth, now knocking on the door. There are a couple of units out, and Rappel, while he is going to be getting to the Heroic Age, he is going to have a little bit of a trouble brewing here. And one really nice idea, which he can't do because, well, he used Great Hunt on the food, is he could get Safeguard and he could build some towers here. He's already got watchtowers in. So an extra tower down with Safeguard would have been nice and strong and cheap and protects this position. But the Anubites managing to break through over here. The Herser waiting, hoping to see the guys jump over, and they do jump straight in to greet the Herser here. So Rappel is really dealing with this Anubite pressure really, really nicely. But behind this, there's a little hole in the wall there, unfortunate for Rappel. But now we are seeing Heroic Ages coming through for both players. A few more units actually produced by Kavoth, but a little bit more tech grabbed by the Rappel. As the Rappel, he is looking to play a really, really defensive game. Getting these walls up, he's got 44 favor. He's still not grabbed this safeguard tech, which I think is probably the biggest tech that he needs right now. Reason being is that it makes the walls even stronger. We are seeing something cheeky here from Kavoth. He's coming forward and dropping a monument to the villagers. Why is he doing this? Well, there is access to undermine, and he's planning, I have to say, to build a Migdol here. He wants to apply the pressure to the Rappel, and the Rappel has not built the units here to deny this. And I think Kavoth is sort of, how do I put this? Kavoth has found a really, really nice, almost metagame to what Rappel is doing. He is countering what Rappel is doing really nicely here, in that he's found a nice heroic age timing, equaling Rappel's heroic age timing. If Rappel had spammed units out, this would not be possible to go up. Rappel could just break through here, and I think Kavoth would get sent packing, right? But because Rappel doesn't really spam the units out, doesn't really stick in that classical age for a long time and try and deny this, well, now Kavoth is good to go. He's got the Migdol up, he's got the army up, he's got a really, really nice protected position here. Yes, there's frost, but with the monument to the villagers here, Kavoth can just monument creep. And we've seen this by players like the Mister before. Just really, really strong. He doesn't even have to delete this monument. He can just walk forward and put down a monument to the soldiers forward here, and then he can just keep creeping forward until he's literally inside the Rappel's base. Now, one idea here for the Rappel could be, well, he can run around here, knock these obelisks down, and actually just attack the main base of Kavoth. Get Kavoth out of position. You're going to have to sack this, but you've got frost, right? So, and Kavoth will have to leave that monument at some point to actually push forward. So you can sack and sack and sack, and then he's going to move too far forward, then you frost, and then you kill his entire base, and you're kind of trading. So long as you're rotating your villages around and things like that, that's an option there. But he is now under a lot of pressure. The Pitsukos are starting to come through. Kavoth has got 3 monuments out, so he's getting a lot of that favor income. And while the Pitsukos are incredibly slow, clunky even, they're 3.6 speed, right? And they've got, I think they've got a lot of weight as well. Is that true? They've got a weight class of 7. Which means they basically they sort of push through stuff. Now, things can get a bit funky with them, and we are seeing. Oh, he actually deletes the monument. I'm surprised. I would have thought maybe just dropping the monument to the soldiers down, having 2 monuments forward, but he runs forward. Now look at this from Kavoth's standpoint. Look at that monument to the villagers. How's Rappel going to be able to do anything? He can't use his god powers. There's a locust swarm coming, potentially a plague of serpents to come as well. And Kavoth is just going to squeeze here. Rappel trying to muster up an army. He's got 180 pop. He does have those Goaty out to snipe down the Anubites. However, he doesn't have himself ballistics just yet. So they can just kind of dodge those arrows unless Rappel micros in a specific way to make the arrows hit. But nonetheless, we do see a portable ram coming through. Pitsukos, funnily enough, they're actually quite good against the portable rams because they're doing divine damage every single attack. And now Kavoth says it's time to launch the Fury. Drops the Locust down. While he's fighting underneath Town Center Fire, he's also got himself a Migdol Stronghold, which is going to be getting some good damage done, as well as Rappel going to be starting the Garrison Micro to try and keep himself alive here. He pulls back. He's got a lot of low HP units. The only problem is, what are these throw and action really good for? They're good for killing off the Spearmen, mind you. They are good for killing off the Spearmen, but what is good against killing them? Well, the Pitsukos. As now, Rappel to return back. We are seeing the raids coming up onto this top side, hitting villages everywhere. And now Rappel puts down an unfortunate frost. Not the best of frosts he can drop. He gets a handful of units to get picked off there. And Kavoth is literally the definition of Migdol creeping right here. Bam. Bam. And the Pitsukos behind here to protect you. These are so hard to kill for the Rappel. I think the secret here is to have your Goaty on this back position, have your army on this back position, and then when those Pitsukos get too far forward, then we're going to garrison through the town center, pop out onto the other side, and start getting damage done to force him to retreat backwards as a as an undermine comes through, a bit of a desperation undermine. He's trying to hit the Migdol stronghold to some degree, but that doesn't, I don't even think that did anything. As the Goaty trying to move forward, they're getting greeted by camel riders and things like that, and immediately Kavoth just steps back, keeps on getting damaged. They've only got 20 range. He hasn't even got the upgrade for them. They can be so much more brutal with that upgrade. He's got 50 favor in the bank. Doesn't have the resource for an incredible macro on the part of Kavoth here, spending those resources beautifully. Has enough gold for another Migdol if he wants to wander forward and just place this down. A Siege Works would not go astray here. I don't believe he's got that one just yet. After the the second prosperity coming through. And this is it. This is the sort of garrison micro I'm talking about. To snipe those Petsukos down. He gets 2 of them. Really, really nice. Is there safeguard in yet? There's still no safeguard in for the Rappel. I'm really surprised to see that. It gives yourself so much more, like just a quick little look-see at it. Gives yourself so much more defense. You get a lot more HP on the watchtowers, on the walls, and your buildings costing less means you can start thinking about spamming more towers here, which I think would be a really, really nice way to help defend this. Like if you put a couple of towers down here, then all of a sudden things are going to look a lot easier for him. As he charges forward, does snipe a Petsukos, but does lose 3 Goaty for it. I think Kavoth's going to be happy with a trade like that most of the time. Meanwhile, the Camel Riders spot the gold mine down the bottom. Rappel does not have that one protected. A great decision to run down there. Where can Rappel hit? These villages here. There's villages here. There are some options for Rappel to go and actually hit some sort of a raid at the moment, but he's so preoccupied with the defense, with the throw and axeman, and the fact that now there's barely any spearmen remaining. And he actually needs like Herdman, Jarl, Huskal, raiding cavalry, like anything other than throw an axeman. Maybe even Berserks here wouldn't go astray. Not really the best at breaking through the chariot archers, but if you've got yourself a bunch of Huskal in, they can sort of charge at them, and then once the Berserks get on top of them, especially with a mask, they'll actually start getting that damage done. But another prosperity coming through for Kavoth. That is insane. Is he buying stuff? I think he's buying resources here as well. Look at the gold shoot. He's got nearly 60 villages on gold at the moment. Are you kidding me? This is like the maximum amount of value you get. Like you compare that over to like Ra, for example. And what are you going to do with Ra? Are you going to build 60 farms and then click rain? No. Probably going to at max have like 30 farms, which is still a lot for rain, but obviously this costs a lot more than rain as well, but still huge value for Kavoth inside of that prosperity. But while doing this, he's not getting a nice, even amount of resources to come through, and Rappel actually does manage to push back a little bit here. The only problem is he doesn't have any siege, and he needs that to actually break through. On top of that, he doesn't have the production for Huskals, which he also absolutely needs. As the town center getting repaired back up here, and Kavoth, where to next is the big question. Mythic Age makes sense. Doesn't have the resources for it. Probably considering the way that Rappel's playing this, could you actually make that work? Probably not, to be honest. I'm realizing that I might have this flipped the wrong way for this situation. So at this point in the game, let's do a quick flipperoonie. And now a temple coming up for Rappel on the back. He wants to pump Frost Giants. Now, Frost Giants make a lot of sense here. Your opponent making chariot archers, right? Those are what? They're pierce damage. This thing's got 70% pierce armor, and it's going to be upgraded. It's got nearly 800 HP. It's going to be able to tank a ton. Lots of Frost Giants now coming through, but they take so long to train. They're taking like 20 seconds or something. Is it 20 or is it more? Yeah, 20 seconds to train. So if they were all out for this fight, completely different story, but they're going to trickle in. However, we'll see if it's going to be enough. Town Center managing to stay alive at the moment. But Kavoth is up to 4 town centers. Another Locust Swarm to come through. He's gotten so much value in this game with these gold powers, with this favor income that he's got. Remember, he's empowering a monument to the villagers, so it's like he's on 4 monuments right now. Sure, the monument is only giving him like it's not giving him as much as it would if he was empowering a monument to the priests, but still it's a big fat juicy amount of favor. As now the Frost Giants are out, but I still want to see some Rams. The Rams are just not in for the Rapple, and Kavoth, he looks like he's creeping ahead. He's got full map control. Absolutely beautiful. We are seeing a nice little hill fort coming up onto the top position here. I like this. You don't even need that many berserks on here. Just the one. It's fine because it's going to get up whenever you want. It's going to protect the gold mine, and then you're good to go. Another thing here for the Rapple, which is currently missing, is that fortified town centers technology, which Kavoth also doesn't have, but he's got 4 town centers, so it doesn't really matter. You can compete 2 town centers versus 4 town centers if you've got fortified town centers, and they don't. But nonetheless, I don't think you can really afford it, as the Frost Giants looking to start pushing in here. They do have crush damage as well, right? A little bit of crush damage, so they can actually help take down these Migdols nicely. He does have still 95 favor in the bank, as Kavoth getting pushed back, but now you're still fighting under 2 Migdol strongholds with 0 siege, and throwing axemen, which are just unfortunately not the unit which Rapple needs at the moment. He's obviously got a huge amount of villages on wood, but I have to imagine that Huskal, and basically pure Huskal, if he could actually manage to build them, probably would break through this comp. Maybe just add like a handful of throwing axemen to deal with any sort of straggler spearmen, but the rest as Huskal makes the most sense. Now the military resource cost here for Kavoth in a really, really nice position. Sniping units up onto the top here. The Frost Giants of Thrym to come through. A couple more priests now starting to come in. Is there a forward temple here? It doesn't look like there is. You can always just get priests out of your town center here as well. If you're at 100 villages, there's no real negative to it. But he does not have himself Nep these here, so he doesn't have that Nebty tech to boost those priests up to get bonus damage. So these Frost Giants will do a good job, and they are doing a fantastic job of just defending against the big units which Kavoth's making. Kavoth doesn't build like a single siege weapon either here, which is absolutely wild to me, as now we do have a portable ram to come through. That's going to get some significant, much needed damage onto the Migdol stronghold here, but why is he running? I don't know. He's not able to continue this spam up, and Kavoth has now got 240 to 280 population. He's got himself that fortified town centers. He's pumping units, elephant, chariot archer, spearman. It's all coming through, and Rapple, a valiant defense, but it's not looking like he's going to be able to continue holding here. He's just consistently behind on military in this game, as Kavoth is showing exactly why these chariot archers can be so menacing. Double Migdol stronghold, a barracks on the front, a perfect little choke point setup, impossible to really engage, and another locust to add insult to injury. What did he make? He went 1 prosperity, 2 prosperity, 3 prosperity. He went 1 locust, 2 locust, 3 locust. He's literally used 6 god powers, obviously 2 are free, but 4 extra god powers in this game. Plus he's also dropped the a bunch of those Petsukos. Though he's not making those anymore, obviously, as the town center for Rapple will fall. His army numbers starting to look incredibly small, and Kavoth looking like he will run away with a victory here in this game. He does still have gold mines, but realistically, down over 100 maximum population is going to be too much to recover from. Kavoth shows why this Isis God is such a menace here. You guys can implement this sort of a gameplay as well. I think Kavoth here, he shows exactly why it's scary. Like, I mean, sure, I think there was a little bit of metagaming or praying to some degree from Kavoth. Like, what I mean by that is, had Rapple faked going heroic age, hid units back, and then tried to push forward, as soon as the Heroic Age comes through for Kavoth, I don't think that Kavoth would have been able to hold and get that position set up. And then Rappel could have gone Heroic Age a little bit later and been completely fine, not being subject to this type of push, grabbed his third town center, and maybe things would have been a little bit different here. Now, obviously, if Kavoth scouts that the units are just getting pumped, then he's probably going to be happy staying in the Classical Age as well, right? So this isn't as easy as, well, if A, then B. This is like Kavoth found a really, really nice little cheeky advantage. He gets that forward Migdol placed in the face of the Rappel, and then from there he just squeezes down with this Migdol push. Incredibly tough to break through, but then again, Rappel did also have a few sort of things that he could have tried. Like, for example, if he gets Safeguard and he places 2 hill forts behind his base, like, just, he doesn't even have to build them with many units, because he just needs them up for, say, like 15 minutes, 16 minutes into the game. When was the Heroic Age through? Let's have a quick looky. Let's see if we can crack this. So he gets to the Heroic Age at like 11. Both get to the Heroic Age at like 11 minutes. So if you're like 3 hill forts up at 15 minutes or something, right? Then all of a sudden you're able to produce the Huskar. You're able to produce the Rams, and all you have to do is break through the spearmen on the front, and those Rams will just clean the Migdols up. It's very hard to defend against Rams unless you have those forward units. Sorry, not those forward units, those melee units. Chariot Archers, obviously not the best to take them down in the slightest. But a very well played game by Kavoth nonetheless, and he does show that he's still in form. Now, he did say he's taking a break, quote unquote, from Age Mythology, but you know what they say. You never, ever retire from this game. You just take small breaks. And at the moment, he's still playing a little bit. So if you guys want to see more of Kavoth, make sure you let me know. And I'll endeavor to watch some games and show you his masterful gameplay. Anyways, we'll see you in the next game. GG.